Welcome back to another episode of the In Between Overs podcast. We're your host for the day's play. I'm Taran.
And I'm Ishaan, and what a match it was. It was the fourth T20I between India versus Australia at the Gold Coast. Its pitch was very interesting. We saw some different batting from different players, which we'll get into a little bit more as well. Some great bowling from both sides, but ultimately India with a pretty decisive victory and a lot to unwrap. Taran, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, great game of cricket. It felt like both sides were threatening to take it away after the starts they got in both innings. When India batted, they got a great start, and then Australia pulled it back. And then when Australia batted, Australia looked like they were going to cruise home, and then India pulled it back and pulled it back. How? Like they literally tore apart the middle lower order lineup of Australia's batting, and they were able to pull off the W.
Yeah, no, really. It did look like, for at least especially from the second innings when Australia was batting, that they were going to, basically take victory very easily. But no, to your point, great bowling by India, but also interesting batting as well when India was put up to bat first. What were your thoughts on the pitch that had occurred, especially in the first innings, as well as the start that India had?
Yeah, so it was a strange pitch for an Australian pitch because usually you expect fast, bouncy pitches. There was bounce, and we saw that with the way Abhishek Sharma got hit from a back of a leg ball from Stoinis. But it was very start-stop in the way that the ball was. It was hard to play through the line, and so for the free-flowing batters that both teams have, it was challenging. And so you had to adapt and choose your balls to hit. And it looked like India did a better job of that than Australia, which makes sense because this pitch was the closest to a subcontinental pitch that we've seen so far on the tour. And it showed in the way India were able to adapt and put up a fairly decent target, which is a score you'd see on subcontinental pitches that have a little bit of turn on them.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think you mentioned it perfectly when you said that was something that Abhishek Sharma and some of the batsmen were able to identify as well. Because when Gill and Abhishek Sharma were batting, it did seem like they were very temperamental in their approach. And, sometimes even if you look back at the Asia Cup, Abhishek Sharma would sometimes just get in the state of free flow batting. But it was nice to see that him identifying that, this pitch is a little different. The score here the total score that could be achieved here is, should be looked at from a different benchmark. So it was good that they're able to identify that. But still, I would say Gill approached the batting a little timid. I would like him to bat a little more fluidly. I would say. Um, Again, I don't know. He is occupying the Jaiswal spot, so it just seems like, you got to be performing very well if you want to open for Team India right now.
I think his innings was really well paced for the pitch they were playing on. I felt like he held the innings together, and it was his dismissal that triggered a little bit of a collapse because India were cruising. They were 121 in 14 overs on that type of a pitch. It still looked like they could get to 180, 190, maybe even 200, with 8 wickets in hand. But his wicket then triggered a collapse right when he was starting to accelerate. And that's what it felt like. It felt like, you got to bide your time, take your time, and then once you're in, you got to stay in and keep going. And he tried to do that, but right when he was changing gears to like fourth, fifth gear, he lost his wicket, and then India lost momentum after that, and they did good to get to 160. But yeah, I thought it was a good innings by him, and even Abhishek Sharma. You rarely see Abhishek Sharma these days with the form that he's in at a strike rate at 150 and below, and he was at 133 today, which is unlike him. But as you said, it was good to see because it's good to see that he knows when to change gears and he's not just going to go every single ball. If the conditions are not suited for his style, he's able to adapt, and that was good to see.
Yeah, no, exactly that. Flipping the script a little bit, you mentioned some of the collapses, and especially Shubman Gill's wicket. Nathan Ellis was
Mhm.
some great bowling. What were your thoughts on him? And I know, we all know, especially on this pod, you've been very vocal of your admiration of him.
Yeah, he seems to be the next up and coming bowler for Australia, at least in the white ball format for now. And he's been doing really well. I think what makes him special so far is his different slower balls that he has. It seems very challenging to pick. We were talking about this offline. It's the angle at which the ball goes through the air I think it was one of the replays. It was Shivam Dube, even Shubman Gill's wicket. Both of them were bowled, and to get batsmen of that caliber bowled is not easy. It's not easy to get professional international batters out bowled, and he was able to do twice to India's batters in this match. And you could see that it's hard to tell because the trajectory or the ball path is very similar to that of his regular speed balls. And so that makes it very difficult. And he's not a tall guy either. So his angles are very different than some of the other bowlers. So it's very interesting to see him bowl. I think he's definitely one for the future for Australia. We were doing some stats on him, and his strike rate right now is better than Bumrah's. Granted, Bumrah's played at least 40 to 50 20Is more than him, but he has a better striker and a better average than Bumrah right now. And he's taken a 4 for in T20Is, which Bumrah has not. I'm not
And
saying
that
anything. I'm not saying anything.
no. When we did discuss it offline, that stat really did surprise me. The four for Bumrah. But no, it is definitely Nathan Ellis's year, especially. He's been really performing extremely well. And no, it does seem like if especially the biggest concern, or I wouldn't say the biggest concern, a huge concern for Australians was their bowling unit after the big four sort of, pivot elsewhere. So it was nice to see
Yeah.
that, some bowlers are stepping up.
Yeah. Coming back to the batting from India, it was interesting to see Shivam Dube being promoted up. What did you think of that promotion? Just GG doing GG things?
Gautam Gambhir doing Gautam Gambhir things. My theory is this. My theory is that Gautam Gambhir likes control. This guy is a freak for control and just wants to show the Indian team and management that he can do whatever he wants. I genuinely think that you're bringing in Shivam Dube one down. Okay, sure, the spinner was on, maybe, but you have Tilak Varma, you have Sky as well, and you bring on Shivam Dube. Shivam Dube doesn't come one down for Chennai Super Kings.
Yeah, it was a very interesting selection to put him up there. I feel like he was trying to maybe disrupt Australia's plans because Australia might have planned for either Tilak or Sky coming in one down, and so maybe he just wanted to throw a wrench in that and send Shivam Dube up there. And Shivam Dube hasn't batted most of the series either. So I wonder if it's that. Just give him a go because it seemed like he had a well, his strike
He
rate
played well.
was
He played well.
yeah, he
He played
played
well.
well. I felt he came in to hit the ball and get the run rate going. I guess he still did because India still got to 88 in 11 overs. That's about what is that? Eight and over. That's pretty good still. But I thought maybe he was in there to pinch hit and
Mm.
score his runs even quicker than he did. But nevertheless, he did a little bit. He did a little bit of damage, and I guess it's justified given
Well,
that he scored 22.
first of all, it's great to see you bringing in some baseball terms here with pinch hit. Yeah, I feel like the Blue
Oh,
Jays postseason run really had an effect on you. So, as a side note, only
oh no, pinch hitter is used in cricket. It's a cricketing term. When I heard it in baseball, I was like, "Oh, that's a cricket term." But we don't see that anymore. Pinch hitters in cricket. It was a thing. It was a thing in the 90s and the 2000s. But now I guess everyone's a pinch hitter.
fair enough, fair enough. But no, I see what you mean. His inclusion there for sure, definitely. I think they needed a lefty, right? That's like, Gautam Gambhir's gospel. Like he needs a left-right combination. So that was definitely part of it. And then to your point, him versus like Tilak Varma for a better run rate, potentially, yeah, you would lead towards Shivam Dube. But then again, he's never played one down. You don't really mess that up in my eyes. But then again, it worked. Hey, guess Shivam Dube can come one down now.
Washi and Akshar Patel, good performances by both of them. Akshar Patel with a solid 21.
Yes, yes. And also on the Akshar Patel, which I wanted to mention, Akshar Patel used to come like one down in the Cricket World Cup like a couple of years ago, if you remember, or two down.
Yeah.
He did, right? But now he's batting that with like 2 wickets to spare. No, he played extremely well. I feel like the pitch turned for the better when he was there because he was hitting it very well.
I think he understood the pitch on both ends with the bat and with the ball. And if I'm not mistaken, he also got man of the match. Yeah, well deserved. I thought he was the only player that was able to adapt in whether it was with the bat or with the ball. And he struck at 190, and he was the reason why India were able to trigger the collapse with the Aussies. what amazing match for Akshar. Great performance. This is starting to be a trend with him. We just get these performances from him consistently. He's always doing something. He's chipping in here with a bat, chipping in here with the ball. It's never a 4 for, it's never a 5 for, it's never a 50, it's never 100. But it's like a solid 20 when the team needs it, or it's a solid 35 when the chips are down, or the opposition's running away with the partnership, and he comes in and just stems the flow of runs, right? He does all the dirty work, all the things that you need to do, and he does that so well.
No, you're exactly right, and he is one of the more experienced players on the team now. He has that T20 World Cup experience. He has, as you mentioned, the all-rounder skill set. And we also sometimes fail to see, because of how well Akshar Patel has played, that the exclusion of Jadeja in the T20 setup should have had a bigger impact on India. However, Akshar Patel has
Yeah.
been able to step up. And to your point, you know, stopping the flow of runs, making adding pressure to an end. He's able to do that, and that's how we're seeing from Akshar Patel. So no, I completely agree. And to your point, very well deserved man of the match.
So this shouldn't come as a surprise, but I'm gonna say that Akshar Patel is undroppable from this Indian team.
I
I
agree.
think he's an all format player. All format player. He's on the team sheet. If not the first player, because maybe you got Jasprit Bumrah, Shubman Gill, and whatnot. But he's making that top three, top four names on the sheet. Like you're not. I'm not thinking twice of having Akshar Patel in my team. He either can be the main spinner, he can be the all rounder, he can bat and bowl if he needs to bowl, and he's amazing in the field.
I agree for T20s, but for ODIs and tests, if there's only room for one all rounder, I'm still putting Jadeja.
Okay, because in Test Jadeja is still there. I guess one days too. He's not retired. That's an interesting. That'll be an interesting conversation. I mean, Jadeja is in the twilight of his career, but he is the GOAT. So
You saw
I
you
see
saw
that.
the
I
England
see
tour.
that.
You saw
Yeah,
the England tour, right? He
yeah,
still has that
yeah.
heart, right? So still, again, I would just maybe get to your point. It's that bias, but I would slightly in favor of Jadeja.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Top performance by Akshar Patel, and then okay, so India set Australia 167. Seemed like a good score given the way the pitch was playing. But then Australia got off to a great start with the top three, four getting some starts. Mitchell Marsh again, 30 from 24. He seems to be in good form. And Matthew Short, no matter where Australia bat him, he always seems to be able to score runs, which is pretty impressive. And he's been consistent with them too.
Yeah, no, to your point, some great opening. And I think they also kind of understood how the pitch was playing as well. It's, not the traditional Australian pitch, so they had to obviously, change their approach. And then, we just sung the praises of Akshar Patel, but him getting the wicket of Short was a big delivery.
Yeah, it was getting him, and I believe that was reviewed too. It was given not out on field, and then Surya decided to review it, and they got that review, and that is what brought India back into the game because it felt like a couple more overs of that opening partnership, and they could have like put put Australia further ahead at that point in time.
Yes, no, exactly that. But then, as you mentioned, that one wicket here, one wicket there kind of led to the collapse. And we did see, obviously, we talked about Akshar Patel. We did see Washington, Sundar, and some of the other bowlers pick up because, again, getting those wickets in clusters, which was important for Team India.
Yeah, and before we talk about Washington Sundar, shout out to Shivam Dube. He
Yes.
came in, he came in and he was able to get Mitchell Marsh out. Yes, it was a nothing delivery and he got lucky. But getting Tim David out, and I actually got to see that live. I got to caught as I was telling you, I got to see some of the final um 10 overs of the game live. And the way he got David out really impressed me because the ball before that, he got absolutely smacked for a six. The ball went out of the ground. I was just sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. David's just gonna rip him apart. And he bowled a bouncer out of nowhere. Maybe it was the pitch because we did see some extra bounce, right? And it caught David out by surprise, and it felt like he didn't expect it to bounce that much, and he ended up top edging it and he was caught in the inner circle. I was like, wow, what just happened? And I got to give Shivam Dube credit because that was him getting the batsman out. That wasn't the batsman getting himself out.
Yes. And you kind of saw, well, two reactions. One was when the ball hit Tim David's bat. He knew right away. he knew right away that it was at an
He
awkward
was
height. He
mad.
hit it.
Yeah.
He was mad. He knew right away that it skied up in the air, and I think Sky caught it, right? If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yes, it
Uh,
was Sky, yeah.
but then I'm sure you saw this as well, but I saw this on Twitter after the fact. Shivam Dube gave him a little send off as well.
Feeling himself. Well, I
Yeah.
would too. If I got smacked for a six like that, the man got smacked for a 12. I would give a send off too. I think that was well deserved. That was a well deserved send off.
Fair, fair. But no, to your point, Shivam Dube, again, we saw this in the Asia Cup. Him with the ball,
Yeah.
he's dangerous with it. He's awkward, but he gets people out.
Yes, he does. I think it was Ravi on comms where he mentioned that he just has this knack of taking wickets. And then I was listening to Harsha after the match on one of the analysis shows on Crick Buzz, and he was saying, and I agree with him. I don't think you need 3 or 4 overs out of Shivam Dube. You need one or 2 overs, and I think that's what Sky is trying to get out of him. Give me 1 or 2 overs, and if you're really on song, maybe I get another one, a third one, and that ends up being a bonus, right? I don't know if we'll ever get a Shivam Dube that's able to bowl four. I feel if that has to happen, he's got to put on another 5-10 kilometers of pace in his bowling in order to be, because he's mid 120s, low to
Yeah,
mid
yeah,
120s, right? He needs to be at least 135, which is what makes Hardik Pandya very effective, right? He's able to hit 135, sometimes even 140 on a good day. But I've not seen Shivam Dube do that. It's funny. Harsha was mentioning Shivam Dube as having a faster ball. His
yeah.
him hitting 130, 135 is like Boomerang bowling 155 once in a while, right? And his average is 140, 145, and then hitting that 150 mark once in a while. That's what it is for Shivam Dube when he's hitting 130.
That is so funny. Shivam Dube doesn't have a slower one. He has a faster one.
That's actually savage. That's actually savage.
But hey, it's
But yeah,
effective,
so
right?
it's effective, and it worked today. It stemmed the flow of runs. He got the wickets that India needed, and everyone in that bowling attack did something on that wicket. And then Washi just comes in and just racks up 3 and 8 balls.
What a performance of Washi. And I feel like he didn't get a chance to bowl one of the
No,
previous matches.
first time in the T.
And look at what he does. And, they could have wrapped it up one bowl before, but obviously Shubman Gill dropped the catch. But no, again, Washi played an extraordinary, extraordinary innings.
Yeah, it was a great bowling performance by Washi. He almost got a hat trick as well. But yeah, overall, I thought the bowlers did well. Bumrah even chipped in with a wicket. Everyone took a wicket. Yes,
Yep.
everyone took a wicket, which is great to see. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next T20I. It'll be interesting to see the combinations. I don't know if India's going to make any changes. I feel like they're going to keep the same. Do you see them making any changes or require to make any changes?
No, it's gonna be what, the fifth T20I. I love the smile on the pod right now because you know what I'm gonna say. You drop Harshit Rana and you win two T20Is. You don't bring him back. You don't. You don't. You finish it off.
What is it?
You might as well send him home early. Send him home early.
Getting ready for South Africa. All format player.
No, he's not selected. We'll talk about that after, but he's not selected.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right, I gotta brush up on my selections. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I see that. I don't feel like India need to make any changes. I guess it's pitch dependent, but I feel that they have a good lineup. It's sad to see Sanju on the bench. I don't know what
Yes.
happened. I don't know. Is it an injury? I can't believe that they would drop him mid-series unless they saw something in the nets that just didn't make sense to
I don't know.
on both sides. It didn't make sense maybe to leave Jitesh out. Maybe Jitesh was showing good form with the bat in the nets. I don't know what it is, but doesn't seem like there's been any story around any injury or
No.
anything. So I hope this is not the end of Sanju, but I'd love to see him back in India colors, but I don't see him playing as a batter in this lineup.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Obviously, I think to your point, they're going to give, I think, Jitesh Sharma one more chance in
Yeah.
T20s, at least this tour. But it'll be very
Mhm.
more interesting to see what India does for the T20 World Cup coming up. So a lot more to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, interesting times ahead. Good headaches for Indian T20 cricket. We look forward to the fifth T20I. It's going to be a humdinger, as they say. All to play for, all the marbles to play for, even if it's tied, right? It'll be awesome if Australia is able to fight back, but as Indian fans, we always want India to get the victory, so hoping for that. Until then, that stumps.